welcome to our previews and predictions episode for this weekend's NASCAR Cup race from Phoenix, as well as round 5 of the FIA Formula E Championship from Hong Kong. Charles, our Motorsport.com editor-in-chief, will be helping me out as we discuss what to look forward to this weekend. Charles, let's start with NASCAR. You clearly beat my pick last week. Kurt Busch finished a very solid 5th place in Las Vegas, while my pick, Clint Bowyer, down in 14th.
Well, you're going to be in Phoenix this weekend and you're going to have some serious explaining to do, because Kurt Busch is your buddy. When he comes to hang out in Miami, he's always hanging around with you. I've seen the Instagram. So the fact that I picked him and you didn't, it's home race, you know, second top 5 out of 3 races. Come on.
You know, he might be even more mad when he finds out who I pick for this weekend, but we'll get to that in a second. The drivers are headed to Phoenix to race on the 1 mile desert track at ISM Raceway. Charles, we've had 3 different winners in 3 different racetracks. Could Penske make it 3 wins in a row this weekend?
I don't think so. I think whenever you look at the race at Phoenix for NASCAR, you've always got to look at Kevin Harvick. I think the guy's got an incredible track record there. The Mustang is clearly, let's say, the class of the field at the moment on those intermediate tracks. Amazing achievement what Penske have done in those couple of races now, but I think this is the time when the tide will turn slightly. It's a different package this weekend. They're running the full horsepower, so it's 750 horsepower. They're not using the air ducts that block off the flow to the back of the car, so it's actually high downforce, high power. I think it's going to be a very interesting race. I think we saw some much better racing at Vegas this past weekend.
Absolutely, way more entertaining than it was 1 year ago, and I think part of that can be attributed to the new aero package. Do you think NASCAR got a lot of what it wanted out of that package?
Yeah, they're clearly playing around with the let's say the variables that they can do, and I think look at the third stage. I mean, the final stage of that race was much more entertaining. I know Kurt had the older tyres on at the start and he was maybe a little bit of a cork in the bottle, but there was some brilliant racing in the pack all the way through that stage.
Yeah.
And I think they're getting it right. I don't think it's a complete package in terms of knowing exactly what they want out of it, so I think it's still a work in progress, but I'm very intrigued to see what we're going to see at Phoenix this weekend.
Well, I'll kick us off with my pick for the weekend. Considering he had a good shot at winning in Las Vegas before the speeding penalty on pit road, and looking at his previous results at ISM Raceway, I'm going to go for Kyle Busch for the win.
Yeah, I just can't see past Kevin Harvick. Kyle Busch is definitely my second pick for the weekend, but for this West Coast swing, I think the Mustang is still the strongest car out there, so I'm going to pick Kevin Harvick for his first win of the year.
All right, well, let the best man win.
Indeed.
Moving on to Formula E, first round of the season in Asia. Last year's race was quite interesting, the Hong Kong ePrix round 1. There was a big pileup on lap 1 on the 4th corner. We had some great battles going on. Sebastian Buemi, Lucas Di Grassi. Then you had Sam Bird, who was leading the race, had a drive-through penalty, emerged still in the lead in front of Jean-Eric Vergne, and then went on to win. So if this year's race is anything like round 1 last year, I think we're in for quite a treat.
And then look at what's been happening with the Gen 2 car this year. You know, Mexico was a great example. You know, it was such an unpredictable race. Cars were running out of energy at the end because we had that red flag, and the team seemed to, certainly Nissan, they seemed to sort of foul up about how many laps they actually had to go.
Yeah.
And it was unreal to see Lucas Di Grassi. Who did I pick again? Just remind me again. And who did? Yeah, oh yes, first.
Oh, come on.
And I thought that was just fantastic motor racing from start to finish. And again, as you say, last year's Hong Kong race was absolutely awesome, the way Sam Bird came back to win there. So I think it's just going to be more of the same, so expect the unexpected.
So who are you picking for this weekend?
I'm going to go with, he's had such terrible luck, and I think Nissan, if they just don't lose their minds like they did in Mexico at the weekend, I think Sebastian Buemi is my pick for this weekend. I think they can finally get the job done and get back to their sort of EDAM's winning ways.
I think that's a good pick. I'm going to go with Techeetah driver Jean-Eric Vergne. You know, after his DNF in Santiago, then he finished outside of the points in Mexico City, along with, you know, the recent clashes he's been involved in. I think he's angry. I think he's hungry for some results this weekend, and I think he's in a good position to get the job done.
My one defeat this year in our picks, when I picked John Eric Vernon in Marrakesh, I think it was. So yeah, good luck with that.
Thank you. I'm going to need it. I'm 4 points behind. Well, Charles, thank you for joining us. That's it for today's episode, and we'll see you next time.